Hey, this is Todd, and I'm just a regular dude walking in the Word. And today we're continuing our journey through the book of Mark. Today we're going to be reading from Mark 6, verses 30 to 34. So if you have your Bibles, which I do, follow along with me. I'm reading from the New International Version. It says this: The apostles gathered around Jesus and reported to him all that they had done and taught. Then, because so many people were coming and going that they did not even have a chance to eat, he said to them, "Come away with me by yourselves to a quiet place and get some rest." So they went away by themselves in a boat to a solitary place. But many who saw them leaving recognized them and ran on foot from all the towns and got there ahead of them. When Jesus landed and saw a large crowd, he had compassion on them because they were like sheep without a shepherd. So he began teaching them many things. All right, several things here in these verses. This is just before he feeds 5,000. So this is kind of a prelude to that. But before this had happened, you remember Jesus had sent the disciples out. We talked about it 2 by 2. And they were going out doing miracles and stuff like that. So they were out doing all these great things. They come back, and Jesus says, "Yeah, come, let's go to a quiet place, and I want to hear about what's been happening," which is good to do, to kind of get after you've been on a mission trip, to have a debriefing time, or a lot of times for my family, what we like to do is, let's say everyone's kind of been, Sunday especially for our family, everyone is kind of scattered doing different ministries and different classes and so forth, different groups. And so after everyone's back home, we kind of gather together and say, tell me what you did and where'd you go, whatever. And so it's a time and we're just sitting, in the family room there on the sofas and stuff, chit-chatting about what happened throughout the day. And so it's just a time to relax. It's not a formal report like this is what I did, but it's just a time to relax and, let myself and Myrna know what the kids were doing and hear from them about what's happened. And we do that a lot with anything that happens. If they go on a short trip or a long trip, then we come back and it's kind of a debriefing time. We've even done it where we've gone away for like a meal or something, just to spend time hearing back from that person once they get back. So it's good to do that when that happens. And he said, let's get away to a quiet place. And so a quiet place, that's good to do. Verse 32, he said, so they went away by themselves into a boat to a solitary place. Into a boat. Okay, so they went out in a boat. It made me think of last Saturday. Myrna and I, we went out just in the boat, just the two of us in the kayaks, and went out off Vamo, South Sarasota, and kayaked down to a little restaurant that our neighbor told us about. Now, naturally, the restaurants at this time are closed, but they were able to serve us, and we were able to go out and sit on the dock. You could sit on the dock, not in the restaurant, to eat. But it was just a nice place for her and I to be alone out there. And for me, a lot of times I like to just to take a break from things. I might go out in the kayak or on my bike, mountain bike, go out east and get away. And so that's good to do too. And Jesus had nothing wrong with doing that, getting away and refreshing yourself for a bit. He comes back here in verse 34. It says, when Jesus landed and saw a large crowd, he had compassion on them because they were like sheep without a shepherd. So he began teaching them many things. Sheep without a shepherd. That reminds me of a book. I'm actually going through this book here with my kids. I don't know if you can see that. A shepherd looks at Psalm 23. This book is by Philip Keller. So that's it. You can get it on Amazon, I'm sure. Apparently, this book was sold for $4.99 years ago. I bought it like used. And we're going actually through Psalm 23. I'm working through that with the kids. And I'm just having them read a chapter each time we meet. And it's good because This pastor here was actually a shepherd in, I believe, New Zealand, and then he's been in Africa and other places. But when he talks about a shepherd, he's talking from experience and about what these different things mean in Psalm 23, as far as him being a shepherd and what they do. Like the last chapter we read of chapter 8, I believe, he talks about the tools that the shepherd, the rod and the staff, and how important they were, and he describes them and all kinds of stuff. It goes way into detail. So I'm not going to spend much time talking about the sheep and the shepherd. I just encourage you to get this book, read it. It's just a great book. It's like 12 chapters. So anyway, a good book to read there on that. But Jesus looked at them, and he looked at the people. He had compassion because they were like sheep without a shepherd. And the thing is, sheep need a shepherd. You don't see sheep out in the wild, okay? I go out riding in Carlton Reserve. I'll see wild pigs and all kinds of wild animals. I don't see sheep out there, okay? Verse 34. When Jesus landed and saw a large crowd, he had compassion on them because they were like sheep without a shepherd. So he began teaching them many things. What I want us to see from this is Jesus was more concerned about the needs of others rather than his own needs. He was like, oh, let's get away and rest. And they rested for a bit. But he wasn't going to stay there resting on the boat all the time. He saw, when he got there and he saw the people and their needs and their needing to be taught, he jumped in and did that. And so that's what he was concerned about, their needs more than his needs of comfort. So, and that's the way we need to be. If we see someone in need, get up off the couch and help that person in need. So anyway, that's our lesson for today. We'll continue our journey through the book of Mark tomorrow. And Lord's blessing to you. Thanks for watching.